I guess with this one, obviously, we talk about DraftSight, but how many people are currently AutoCAD users? Okay. How many were AutoCAD users and use DraftSight now? How many kind of have both? Okay. All right. So how many are, how about this? How many are currently using DraftSight when they used to use AutoCAD at their businesses, right? And stuff like that. Okay. All right. So we'll talk about some of that. Really what I'm going to go over, and this will be downloadable later on, like probably more than likely like the end of next week, you know. So look for it. Feel free to download. There's a lot of slides on here I have for like where things are. You know, I'll show you on here as well. But use this as this PowerPoint when you download. Use it as a reference. It's a good one to have and share it with people you work with and stuff like that for where settings are and things like that to make things kind of like you were used to having them, kind of type scenario. Okay. So what I'm going to kind of walk you through here is, you know, the differences and the many similarities between AutoCAD and DraftSight. If you've made the transition or have been in it for a little while on the DraftSight, there's things that are like I said that are very, very similar and exactly the same, and there's things that are a little bit different but similar. You know what I mean? So we'll walk through that and then also understand maybe which version you need or version you were used to, things like that. Because now that there is no longer a free DraftSight, right? There's we'll talk about what's in that standard version versus the Pro and the Enterprise and things like that. Okay. All right. So just kind of talked about this. I'm going to go through the ease of the transition of DraftSight to DraftSight, and also DraftSight similarities, and then also which versions for you. And then also I have in here is some similarities with SolidWorks too that you'll see. I've been doing this quite a while. I started back on the day, I think, I started out on the drafting board for about 6 months. And then I think our first version of AutoCAD was like R10, I think it was, or something like that. So I'm dating myself, but you know. And that was the real, you know how those days were, that was a real fun transition, trying to get people off the board to something where you actually use for, actually use the 2D CAD was interesting. I remember the switch from 2D to 3D were in the industry, so it was interesting. So I just have a couple of things I want to show you on the commands and things like that. I'll jump into I will jump into the software, but this one actually, let's see here. Let me go here real quick. Let me see if I can jump into that one over here. There we go. Of course it won't. Of course it won't. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. Okay. So let's just take a look at it this way. Okay. So what you have up here, and we'll go through some of the slides, but there's a classic and then there's a ribbon style. Okay. The classic is your common pull-down menus, and the drafting and annotations one is more, which I'll switch here, and we'll see, is more like the ribbon style. Okay, so if you like the ribbon style, notice that these are home, insert, annotate, sheet, manage. These are the same things that are inside AutoCAD. So they're managed the same. You can customize these as well inside DraftSight. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But if you like the traditional pull-down menu where it's the classic, right here, that has the pull-downs, and then you can then go and turn on all kinds of toolbars. So you can go in here and turn on all your toolbars and dock them. Okay, you can do that here. You can make customized ones. We'll get into that, about making customized ones. But what I did for that, I just right-clicked here. Up here in the gray area. And these will have this on the slides when I show the slides here in a minute. And then I can go to toolbars, and you can see I can turn on other things up here. So That's what that is. So really, here's your button that you have in AutoCAD as well. If I go here and I can click and I can go new, start a new file, I can export, I can go to start a new sheet, I can print from here. If you have Pro and Enterprise, you can do the batch plot, batch print and stuff like that, just like you would. I'll show that in the slide. And then properties are here, and then here for manage, you can do recover and error checks. Also, you can go here for your options, and here's your recent documents, just like you are there. Okay? All right, so let me do that real quick. That's kind of what the comparison demo video showed, but I don't want to bore you with videos either. So we have lists that we can use. We'll get into these here in a minute. Okay. So what's identical is there's identical commands, there's identical keyboard shortcuts. You know, of course, there's similar Autolist commands. You don't get the list commands until you're in the Pro. And I'm using list routines that I've written back in '97 on here. So I mean, it doesn't matter. If you have, do any of you have an AutoCAD or want to bring over? If you want to, you can. If you have any custom menus that you've created, you can bring that stuff over too. Okay, that can be done. Also, you can load, like I said, you can auto load your list command. So you just need to put them in the when it loads. You just need to put that text file when it starts the program. It needs to know where to look for those. But you can have those auto load for you all the time, or load them whenever you want to. Of course, your profile and customization toolbars, you can do that as well. Like I said, and then in Pro as well, you can do batch printing from a folder. I'll show you what that looks like. And also you can keep with the latest version. So if you want to save down or save up, you can do those settings as well. Okay. So of course you have your common F numbers, right? Or your F8, all your F commands work. What's unique about the F4 command in here is it's like related a little bit to SolidWorks. F4 in DraftSight is recent documents, like the R key is in SolidWorks. F4 is recent documents here. Why I don't have it up on this slide is because it's non-AutoCAD related. So it's on another slide. Okay. Of course, if you type in erase, that equals delete. So there are aliases inside here, which we'll talk about here in a minute. If you see right kind of 3/4 of the way down, there's the CL command or clean or purge. If I type in purge or clean, that's the same, they mean the same thing in DraftSight. So if I want to purge something, I can type in purge. The clean box comes up, it's the same thing, that's where the alias is. Or if I type clean, it knows what I'm talking about, okay? So just like anything else you want to do, what else is unique is the split and break. That's the one on here. Inside AutoCAD, it's break. When you want to break an entity, right? Break it into 2 lines. Here it's called split. So if you type in break or split, you're going to get the same functionality. Okay. So whatever you want to type. Everything chamfer is all the same. Fillets the same. Spell check, that's all the same. And we'll get into where the aliases are and things like that. Just want to talk about some common ones you're going to see. Stretch is common. Also, your blocks, your inserts, your arrays, all that, explode, scaling, that's all the same for your keyboard shortcuts. Okay. Same here with your other identical commands. Keyboard shortcuts is your trim, extend, rotate, and offset. All that stuff is here. Mainly why I'm showing this here is, like I said, so later when you want to download it, you have this information too. Any questions so far? Okay, let me know. Okay, these are for your reference too for line and copy. You can do CO or CP. That's an alias. Okay, different things you can do. Delete key is delete. All that stuff is here. Okay. When you get into zoom commands, of course, the same thing. You can type in P for pan and Z, W, and then, or hit Z and then enter and then W, and then you can get zoom window. Your layer commands, you have the layer menu. You also can type in layer commands if you choose to do so. Okay. Here's all your layer commands that you can type in if you want to do. How many people use buttons, or how many people type in? How many people type in versus button, right now? Okay. Whatever one likes to do, right? So here's where we can get into customize. We can actually go in here, and that's where I right-clicked up on the gray area, and got this specify toolbars, so I can click on toolbars, specify which ones I want. I also can right-click, and that's my the right-click menu comes out, which you see there on the right-hand side, where you have your eSnap settings, or you can turn on your which ones you want to select right from there. If you go to the eSnap settings there on the bottom, that's where it takes you into where you can click on the check boxes of the ones you want it to default to. Okay. Here's similar list commands. So you could, does everyone know the Overkill command? You guys know that one? That's the same thing in, that is what we call discard duplicates inside DraftSight. And that is an alias too. So if you type in overkill or discard duplicates, it'll find all the duplicate lines on top of lines. Everybody loves that, right? Yep. So you type either one of those in. Here's where we can load right from the pull down. If we want to load it Autolist, like I said, if we want to load it and we just need to put it in your preferences where you want, you just got to put the ones that you want to show up into a text file. So it knows where to pull that text file and loads all your Autolists, wherever location you have that. But this is where you can do it manually. The old Flatten one, everybody knows what that one is. If someone's drawing off into the into the different zone. So yeah, here's where we can also. I was talking about earlier when I was in the software. I was talking about the toolbar profile. Here's the classic where it has all the pull downs. Okay. And then we also can get into where we want to actually go in here and get the toolbars where I was just talking. Okay. So a lot of people feel free to, if you want to put this, just disperse this around your company, of course. If you guys are transitioning or have people that are using or have questions. So then here's where we can actually customize and make our own commands. And this kind of walks you through that. So if you don't want, you can download it. So if you want to step through it. So really what we can do is we can go to toolbars, and there's that customize button we can click. And from there we hit that little plus button. And then we can go in here and filter search what we want to find to make a command, okay? And we're going to go ahead and make we're going to go ahead and make a keyboard shortcut here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and I'm going to go ahead. This is talking about aliases. Yep. So purge and clean. So here's where purge and clean is here. And the aliases is located in your user preferences. And this is where you can scroll through and see if there's anything in there maybe you're missing or you want to do. It'll show you what the alias is versus the original command on the left-hand side. Okay. Yep. Here's where the batch print is. Okay. We can go in here. In batch print, there's multiple places for it. That's why I kind of showed it here. Your bottom, that one on the right is on your bottom left corner of your DraftSight. And then this one is in your pull down on your DraftSight actual icon. Different locations for it. Here's the other location for it, which you see there. And then also there's a button for it up on your icons. Okay. You can then go in here. And you can go by files, you can go by folder and batch print, whatever you want to do. Okay, just like the other one. Here's where you can go into system options, and you can do the default save, so you can save back to a certain, if you want to save back to 2013 or you want to save back to 2008 as your standard save button versus going to the save as. You can still go to save as and then click on type and go all the way down to R12 if you want to. But if you want it to default to something, here's where you can set that location in your system settings. So here's that classic pull down look. Here's the ribbon that was introduced in 2016. Okay, the ribbon style to match what it looks like in AutoCAD. Okay. You can also make your own. And that's some customers that wanted to make their own. And you can go ahead and drop and drag icons. Oops, I went too fast. You can drop and drag your own icons on there and load your own Okay. Here's your menu, so you can right click and you get this menu and go to your options. That's the default. You always can go into settings and change your right click command as well. Okay. So right mouse click gets you the one on the left there. And then if I hold my shift button down and do a right mouse click, I get the E-snaps option, just like standard, unless you go in and change that into the settings. So your standard toolbar, this is just kind of for reference for you guys when you download it, is here's all the different buttons and what they do, okay? So we have everything that's the same, and same thing here. Here's your zoom commands. Those what those look like, okay? And then your layers toolbar, that's for your reference, okay? When anyone has a question, here's your layers toolbar. That's what all those do for your reference, just like they do in AutoCAD. So you got unlock, layer, isolate, okay? Delete a layer, you can restore them, show all layers, freeze and thaw, just like you're normally used to. Here's where you can change your color settings if you want to change the background or any of the other colors. I'm just showing the background on this one. So if I want a model background to be white or black or a different color, I can do that right here. And notice this is like a system option, so it's just not for the document file or like some people are used to inside SolidWorks or anything like that. It's a system, it's for your whole session of AutoCAD. And unless you change it again, every time you open up AutoCAD, your system options will be that change. Here's where you change your cursor size, your crosshair. Remember, it starts at 5%, so it's a little crosshair at 5 by default. So to change that to go all the way across, like I used to like it, you just need to change the pointer size to 100% and then go all the way across, up and down. Okay, so we can also save file formats. The ones we can do is DWG, DXF, DWT, and we can read DWT files, and also we can import DGN files. DGN files are like from MicroStation, those kind of programs, okay? And of course, we can open DWG and DXF as well, okay? And a DWT, that should be on there as well, a template. And if you have templates already in AutoCAD, you can just bring them in and just point to them in the locations that you are. You don't need to redo that stuff. Okay, so if you got any default templates that you already have from AutoCAD, we can just bring them in. And where we would bring them in here, I don't remember if I have it on the slide, but we would just bring it in and point to profiles and point to those templates where those are at, so it knows where to go look for them. Because DraftSight will load with its own default templates, so either change the location or put them in that location if you want. Okay. Reverse zoom wheel, okay, this is if you want it like your SolidWorks. If you don't, how many people have the button checked on the SolidWorks, the reverse zoom wheel? Okay, then don't click this button because it'll reverse it. So this is meant for SolidWorks users that were not 2D users, that are not used to the zoom wheel, so, okay. So good thing you came, right? Yep. So good thing you came here. So yeah. So that's where that button is. Coordinate systems. This is where you can change them, turn them on if you don't want to see them. Some people live by them. Some people hate to see them. So that's where you can change them and turn them off. Getting in here, here's where you can do scale factors. Going through some of this stuff, going through the scale factors. So that's where you can change those. Also, here's where you can change your block units from inches or millimeters. Okay. You also, here it is. I wonder where that went. Okay, here's the custom. That must have got moved around or something. I don't know what happened there. Anyways, I'll fix that slide before I get it released. So because we got to one to how to customize, and then we went on to something else. That's out of place. Anyways, we're gonna make an F12 button here. So that's what we're gonna do here. So when we go on the keyboard, we're gonna make a keyboard custom one, and then we're gonna hit that plus button over there, and that's gonna add a button. And then what that's gonna do is gonna bring up this filter. And then up there in that little section, I type in something, I'm gonna put a calculator in there, okay? And then what I do is when I filter to what I want, I'm gonna left click and drop and drag that into that F12 location there where the green arrow is. And then this is just zoomed in because way down below on this little key is I need to click apply. That's down there. So just click apply. And once you do that, then you'll be able to hit F12 and that's what your calculator looks like. And I just brought up here all the aliases for the smart calculator. So the smart calculator is actually quicker on keyboard shortcuts than it is the regular calculator, which is that one. It's OC versus CAL, so, so that's the shortcut for that one. So then just going over command shortcuts, these are the two that people are very common: purge and clean, break and split. There's some other ones, remember, discard duplicates, it's like overkill. So just type in what you're used to in AutoCAD and it has a duplicate for it. Okay, or it has an alias for it. Okay, just putting this in for your reference later on when you want to download this. Just layer tools. Here's something you can print out, put in there. And I added this one. I added the F4 for you for the hotkeys. Remember, F4 is the recent documents. Not the same in AutoCAD, but F4 is like the R button in SolidWorks for documents. Recent documents. Here's for your reference what you're able to do. So if you see on the pro side of things versus the free, which is now the standard, okay, standard is the $99 version, is you're able to do everything, quick groups, you can do options, you can do 3D resources. After that, like design library, drawing, compare, macros, and Autolist, but APIs and stuff like that, those aren't included. Those are in the Pro and the Enterprise. Okay. And then the biggest difference between Enterprise and Pro is that you get support, and then of course it's a shared license, it's a network license, but you do get tech support and everything on that. And you also get the deployment wizard, which allows you to kick everything out to everyone. You can send them an email and then click on a link and do it. Okay? DraftSight tips and tricks, just some of them I just kind of thought of. Hold the shift key down when the line command moves. So this is very similar to when you're sketching inside SolidWorks. Remember when your relations come on and you want to override them? You can hold the shift key down and your turns your ortho off temporarily when you do the shift. Same keyboard commands as AutoCAD, just remember that. Click the C to close off a sketch. So that's an AutoCAD thing, so just make you aware of that. So instead of me going back and clicking on the end point where I started or the beginning point, I could hit C and it'll close it off if I'm at that point. And also I can export to a JPEG, a PDF, a PNG, or SVG file as well. There's all the file types we can save in there. There's a couple more that I missed on that slide, Chad, I think. There's 17 and 18 is there not in there, but then also we can attach images from a BMP, so a bitmap all the way to a TIFF, and then F4 for recent documents, which I have in there twice. No, I don't. That was on the other slide previously. I bet. So yeah, let me see here. DraftSight for SolidWorks users. Any questions first before I jump into this? Yeah. Yeah, that's just, let me. So if I go file. Well, file type, my bad. Yeah, 18's there. Yeah, I'm running 19 on mine right now, so yeah, 18. Yep, that's what I was missing on that slide, Chad. Yep, 18. Any other questions? Yeah.
We have specific belt styles for a couple of plans, so can we import that, or do we have to make it here?
On the plot. I'm trying to think. What's that? Yeah, you should be able to import them. If not, send them to, I'll give you my information, send them to me and we can send them to development to test them. Because I've been doing that with the 2020 stuff with them, is making sure everything's working like it was in 2019, but some of the other stuff that are adding, like some of the menus and stuff like that, yeah. But yes, you should be able to. And that's something they'll want to, if they can't, that's something they want to work out to make sure you can, okay?
If they send you AutoCAD, save, and then this software, and then with the AutoCAD layers and other properties can be
Yes.
stable during the
Yeah, they should. If you create a layer in AutoCAD and then send me that file, it will be in the layer. That layer will be created in my DraftSight, and vice versa. When you go back and forth, it should do that.
because with some of our suppliers could happen that, no? That the
Mm-hmm.
same document is edited in some moment in AutoCAD, save, send, and then with this software, save, send, back,
Mm-hmm.
and this it will be stable.
Yeah.
All the properties, layer.
Layers should all be the same, correct? Yep. I have not heard of any issues of if I add a layer or someone adds a layer and it's not on theirs, it should all be, unless it's like a duplicate layer, but it should tell you that when you create it, that layer has already been created. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You import point clouds, so I don't know, RCP, CC75. Are you working on it?
Yes. That's a work in progress right now. Yes. So yes, X references. That you should be able to do X references. That was something that they worked on in 2019. That should be working now on here. Yes. Mm-hmm.
We have some templates of the frames.
Yeah. You can bring that. Yeah. You can just reference that. Yeah.
If we put them here, it will really
Yep.
maintain all the properties.
All the properties. Correct. Yes. The metadata. Yes. Correct. Yep.
Just complementing a little more of that, those frames, we actually use it on the layout thing. So on the model, we just do
Yeah.
the
Right.
flatten,
Yeah. If you want to do paper space, yeah, you could do that.
Okay, and then can we add viewports like in AutoCAD?
Yes, you can. Yeah, because right now I'm on model here, but if I go, let me close this right here. Here's where you can go to layout and stuff for paper space. Okay, and here's where you start a new drawing, like right here. Very similar. I just had this one as my default that points to this one. That's why this is created. So, just to show you that. Any other questions? Oh, it's on my thing, that's why. That's all right. No, that's fine.
We found in AutoCAD 2019 it's a very useful function nowadays, drawing comparing. So we use it a lot when we have the drawings and the frames in the model.
Mm-hmm.
So they compare it, they give you one color for a version, another color for a different version, another color, if everything matches the same. So
Correct.
it helps us a lot instead of looking for one change during a version.
Yep. That is in 2019. So if we go to, I'm trying to think where that is at. Let me go to the ribbon one. It's easier to see it. Was it right there staring me in the face? Let me see here. Right here. Yep. So I can go in here and pick. Yeah. Right. Let's talk about that.
Put that on their list.
Yeah. So you hear what she was saying? In SolidWorks, you can search a command. That's a good. I know what you're saying. That's a good thing. So yes, you can do draw and compare, and then pick the two drawings, and I'll show them. But that's in Pro. Yeah, that's in Pro. The drawing compare is in Pro, not in the standard version. Just so you know. Oh, and also, in DraftSight Enterprise is the Pro version of the network license version. So everything that's in Pro is in DraftSight Enterprise. And then the 3D is the premium in the Enterprise. But anyways, yeah. Any other questions on that before I jump into the SolidWorks stuff? Yeah. Yeah.
Is that available right
I'd have to check on that. I know what you're asking for. I don't think that's in 19, but I know 2020 was. I had beta for a little while ago. They're starting to. Hopefully 2020 will be soon. Let me ask about that. And if you want, I give you my card, and you can shoot me an email. Or I'll take your card or whatever. Either way, and then we can. Yep. Okay. We'll do that when we're done here. Okay. Anything else? Mm-hmm.
Its reference was not very clear for me. It is
Yes.
Is
In 2019. Yep.
2019.
Yep.
2019 its reference are working
Yes.
as it is in
As it should be. If you have any issues, feel free to let me know, because I work with the development team. So let me know, and if you have an issue or anything, there's something that's not working right, let me know. Okay. All right. Or if any you want to be on the beta testing, let me know too. I'll get you in charge. I'll get you in with the right people. Okay. Let's go back to this real quick. How many people are SolidWorks users? All right. Well, that's good, because how many people are 3D Experience users yet? Yeah, that's what I thought. Nobody's in my hands, maybe next year, right? All right, so DraftSight for SolidWorks, just similar things that you're used to that you can find something, when you're bopping back and forth between them. Of course, the common keyboard shortcuts, we'll talk about those. We'll talk about Headsup Display, all that kind of stuff. Design library, Toolbox, there's all that stuff is in here. And let's talk about that real quick. So let's see here. Here's your first one, which is my favorite, is the F4. Okay, so F4 is that one where you hit the recent documents. That's set up by default. And now, of course, your L command, just like in AutoCAD and in sketching, is the line command, right? Control tab lets you shuffle between open files. So if you do your control tab and you have multiple DraftSight documents open, it'll do the same thing like it does inside SolidWorks. And of course, your middle mouse button, if you double click it, it does like the zoom fit, does the zoom extents in here. All right. The other one is we do auto-completion. So a lot of times when we type in like the search bar, and what she was talking about earlier, when I type in the search bar, it'll automatically filter for me. That does the same thing there. And then we also have this one I call is like the Heads-Up Display toolbar, like is very similar to the context toolbar, like on the right-hand side. When I click on something, I get some feedback inside DraftSight of things I can actually change. And notice, and this is where you can, if you don't like that box, you can turn it off here. That's why I put that there. Okay. All right. Also, you get mouse gestures. How many people use mouse gestures inside SolidWorks? Well, you can use them inside DraftSight as well. Okay. So you can go ahead and create some mouse gestures if you like to. And that's where you can go ahead and turn them on the pull-down menu there. Okay. All right, same thing here with the little pop-up bar, which I call the dimension palette. So just like when you're using Smart Dimensions, you got that little icon that pops up. You can make favorites, change the units real quick, do all that kind of stuff. Same thing you can do inside DraftSight. How many people use, it's not on this slide, but how many people use the trim tool and do the power trim? How many use that? You guys got that from DraftSight?
I'm still doing the zero radius color.
When you do trim inside DraftSight, you can do, yeah. So, and here's where you can create custom tools. So I can create a custom workspace essentially, and then I can just go ahead and I can go into my workspace and I can add icons, all kinds of different stuff, all custom stuff if I want to. Based on that. So you just need to create a workspace first, and then once you create a workspace, you can go ahead and drop and drag. You go to that filter button where I showed you where you can add tools. You go to that little add button and filter and just drop and drag them on here. Okay. Here's where we can turn the toolbox on. How many people know that DraftSight has a toolbox? Okay. What's nice about the toolbox on here, and remember the toolbox is in Pro or the Premium, but what's nice is we can turn on whichever one we want, and it has all the icons and it has all the, I should say icons, but it has all the blocks created and everything, the smart blocks for taps and all that stuff in here. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then also if you want a drawing and then click that tap just like you would in SolidWorks when you do like when you're dimensioning it, it knows what size tap that is. Okay, and it's a block right away too. So it's a smart block. Yep. Okay. All right, and that's where you can turn it on or customize it or whatever you want to do there to turn them on. Okay. A lot of people I recommend let me go back to that real quick. Kind of glossed over that. Whoa, I'm going the wrong way. Let's go back this other way. I'll get the right one. Notice we can copy. I would recommend copying this and then giving it your own name and not maybe wrecking the default. You know, I should gloss over that. It's very important. So you can always, and the only way to redo it, you'd have to uninstall DraftSight and reinstall it. You know what I mean? So, meaning it would copy over the old toolbox. There's ways to get around it. We could probably get it executable to you or something. But just be careful. Just copy it and make it your own. Then you can delete whatever you want and add back just whatever you want to. Or turn on or off whatever you want. Same thing in here. We have toolbars. We have inserts. Here's where you can do screw connections, all holes, inserts, all that. That's where you kind of would process through that once it's turned on. Okay. Here's where your design library is located. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out so you kind of know where that is. You can go Control-2, that'll get you to this location that you see right here real quick. And here's your design library. I went and added, you'll see this like electrical, hydraulical, mechanical, there's some stuff in there. I went and added the bearing in there just to show you that you can add your own stuff. It's a block in there and you can add it and whatever you want to do. And I think where I got that stuff, I just went to, yeah, that's a McMaster car number in the front. So I just went back to McMaster car, went to that flange bearing and searched it in McMaster car, and then instead of downloading a SolidWorks part file, I downloaded a DWG file. And it came with all the views and stuff. So very easy to create if you want to. Okay, here's the draw compare. I thought that was in here. So there's where you can go for draw compare. Okay, that's where it is from the drop down. Remember, I went to the plugins on the ribbon, on the tools. It's in tools, draw compare, and that's where you can get to it. Okay. What's that? There is a drawing in your, what's that called in SolidWorks? Your SolidWorks tools? Isn't that in your, yeah, you can compare inside SolidWorks too, as well. Like features, you can compare features, you can compare drawings. Yep. That's in like your SolidWorks tools and where you can do like conversions and all that kind of stuff, updates. It's in that location there. Yep. And here's where you can export a BOM, create a BOM, and you export the tables out if you choose to do so. So that's where you can create and export. This is in Pro as well for Excel-based ones. That's where these are. Here's where you can go ahead, and here's where summary. Here's where you can add there's a custom tab there where you can actually add metadata to these files as well. So if you want to ever put DraftSight into, how many people have PDM? So if you want to put PDM or read this stuff here and go into PDM when you want to bring it in, okay? One other thing I was going to bring up when I was just looking at that other one that's popped in my head. Nope, let me go back one. Let me go back one here. I think it's this one. Yes, bill of materials. Bill of materials, that's what, yeah.
You have the sheet set, manager, I don't remember the name.
Oh, like you're talking about the sheet manager. I don't know offhand. I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the one that's in AutoCAD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last sheet.
Oh yeah, right there, yeah. Yep, right here. So you go right to sheet, and that's where you can go to that manager, right there. Yep. And this is when you click on that little icon, that's where this pops out, okay? What I was gonna say about the tables, if you have AutoCAD mechanical, and you're using like the bill of materials, like the smart bill of materials and stuff like that, currently that does not transfer. So if you wanna bring that stuff in, it's gonna turn out to be, at this point, kind of dumb, you know what I mean? So just so you know, there's something they're working on, but currently if you wanna bring it in, you can bring it in, but it's just gonna be kind of a dumb table, you know what I mean? Okay. But that's because it's mechanical, not AutoCAD Lite or anything like that. So, and you notice that they've got bill of material, the Excel stuff, so they are working on that kind of stuff. So, okay. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, this one I put up here at the end in case someone asked me about it. But here is where I can create drawing standards and verify standards. So that's something that's new in there. Some people forget about. So I can verify that things are set certain ways. And also reverse mouse wheel. That's where that is. Someone always asks for me that at the end. All right, we're done here. Let's see here, we're done with that. Okay, any questions? There. Any questions? Any questions? Who? Okay, yeah, go ahead. What's it? Yeah. To answer your question, I don't control that, but probably to answer your questions, yeah, probably want to make money on it. But yeah. So how many? That's another story. Yeah, that's a whole different story. But yeah, no, that's something that they wanted to control. I mean, I would say if there's one way to maybe get around that, if you want to be a beta user, those, you know what I mean? So wink, wink.
Will it run on Apple? Will it run on Mac?
There's a translator for it. Yeah, it'll, right?
Oh, that was kind of a non-answer.
Yeah.
Will it run well on Mac?
There's a translator.
Sure.
Yeah. 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 How many people learned something today that you came here and good. I like all the hands. Okay. How many people, like other than yourself, how many people went from using the free one and then having to use the standard one or purchase the standard one? Is everyone okay? Is anyone using the pro version? Okay, you're using pro version. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's exactly. And if you look at it compared to the alternative, it's how they structure their licensing. You never, it's, yeah, you know what I mean. So it's not really yours. You know what I mean. So you just kind of rent it. So. But the other thing with that is, that being said, you were saying why isn't it free anymore? But $100 isn't bad. I know. Used to have it. Well, they want to be beta user.
Is that a subscription price? Is it $100 a year?
I don't know. They'll probably let you use it. Try out the beta version and give them feedback. What's that?
Free to students?
That's a debate. Meaning, we could talk to corporate because they don't want to shy away from students. I know that for sure.
Will it be before my kid finishes college?
Yeah, right. Thank you. So because I don't know because what is the student version now? How much does it cost? Yeah, this is like the student version.
There's no student version right now.
No, there's not, right? They'd have to buy, or they were using the standard, or, right, okay. All right, and then, let's see here. What else do I want to ask? Let's see here. And then I guess versus how many people do use like Lisps and everything like that, that they requires them to have the Pro, or what they want to use the Pro? Everyone that's using? Yeah, someone's shaking heads. Okay, all right. Okay, just curious, just getting for my own self here. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? I don't have any more questions for you guys, but if you need more questions?
Last year they ended up
They did, didn't they? I don't know.
well, the card I got didn't work. So
What? You should have called me right away. Really? It didn't work? Yeah.
I got sidetracked.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I can. I'll check in on that, and then.
See, for everybody coming here,
Right.
everybody should get a free card.
A free card. Okay. Yeah. So Phil, make sure you fill out your survey, and we'll have your name. That too. You can do that too. If you want to give me your card, I can see what I can get for you. If you want to, yeah, just feel free. Anybody who wants to give me your card, I'll see what I can do for you. I don't know if I can give you anything, but I'll see. It's worth a shot.
No, I'm an educator, so
Yeah.
it's something I want to do, but next fall I'm planning to do for workforce development for a class on AutoCAD versus DraftSight.
Okay, cool.
And for the community to come in and see what it's all about, and just try to invite everybody to come in and see.
Okay.
So I'll probably get a hold of you or yourself.
Yeah.
Hold the team and see what we do. I'll get to the bars and
Sure.
as well.
See how we can help for sure. Yep. I'm all about that stuff too. Yep. Sounds good. Okay. Anyone else? How many people stayed out too late last night?
That's what you asked for the afternoon, right?
No, I wasn't too bad. I went to the bathroom, said, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I didn't lie, said, I'm going to the bathroom. And then I snuck out the side. So, because I had these today. So, all right. Well, thanks everyone for coming. All right. Thanks everyone.